On this adventure, Ed and I are heading out to Sand Hollow State Park to prepare for some underwater gold mining. We're gonna test out some sketchy equipment, walk underneath the water. Should be a blast. All right, so we're here at Matt's Off-Road Recovery, and Ed has been chomping at the bits to get going. What are we doing, Ed?
Well, we're gonna get a motor together with a compressor so you can dive under the water in a hooker rig. I'll get weights on you, and we'll see how it goes.
How old is your equipment?
Well, the motor's new, the compressor's, back in the 80s, and the same way with the mask.
Have you ever used this before?
Oh yeah, diving with my dredge.
How long ago was that?
Last time my dredge was up in Idaho, about 30 years ago.
With this equipment?
Yeah, we'll see if it works.
Okay, for those of you who don't know what we're doing what's called a hookah rig. So we're gonna be mounting an engine and an air compressor onto an inner tube and have it float above the water with an airline running down to me underneath the water. Yes, you heard that right. It's sketchy. I'm not 100% sold on the idea. There's some safety precautions that I'm gonna have to go pick up before we do this. Ed's mask is really old. I don't think it's gonna work, but we're gonna test it all out. So right now we're gonna be mounting this engine onto the board. If I die, you'll know why, right here.
This engine's brand new.
Where'd you get it?
Matt gave it to me.
Nice.
Not the same hole pattern, is it?
Nope.
How's it gonna look on that hole? We might have to put a board over that. There's one out against that shed.
That one?
Yeah, we can cut a piece out of that.
Okay. Okay, got everything mounted up. So that's the air compressor to the engine. Got the pulley mounted on there. We're gonna see if this thing works. What does that do?
That's your reserve. So if this quits, you got a couple breaths left.
It's a little wiggly. You got any air coming through there?
It probably worked, because this ain't gonna seal either. I don't know if you can use it, you know, if it fills with water, or you could take this off, get a mouthpiece, and I think I got a mask.
Do you think the scuba shop's got one?
They have a mask. I don't know if they have a mouthpiece.
Okay, just so you guys are aware of what we're talking about right now. This is old, and it's got a lot of dry rot. Like if you look right around that mouthpiece, it's all dry and cracking. So I'm gonna run over to the Scuba store and see if they've got something that can replace this mask.
Let's try this weight belt too. I made all them. I got a mold.
You made these?
Yeah. I think that'll be enough to get it under.
All right, we got a couple good dive shops here in St. George. I'm just gonna see which one has the right equipment. St. George is about a 20-minute drive, so hopefully we'll be able to get back in time to go hit the water. This video is sponsored by Lasfit, and I've been running their floor mats in my truck for the past 3 months, and this is a real-world review. I've had dirt, mud, spilled drinks, my hunting boots, and everything on these floor mats, and they've held up great. And the thing I've noticed most is they actually stay where you put them. No sliding around, no curbing up under the pedals, and they still fit just like the day I bought them. But the thing that really shocked me the most was the price. When I first looked them up, I figured they'd be more expensive, but they're actually super affordable for how tough they are. The driver's mat is the one that takes the most abuse, and it's still in great shape. It's easy to pull out, no wrestling around. All I used was a regular garden hose to spray these off. No pressure wash or nothing. Look how clean these are. So if you need tough custom floor mats that are easy to clean and don't break the bank, check out Lasfit. Use promo code Jefe at checkout to save 15%. Big thanks to Lasfit for sponsoring this video. So we're doing a thing called like hookah. I don't know if you heard of it.
I know hookah.
So that's the mask we have right now. It's like a 30-year-old mask. We're trying to upgrade it.
The only difference between a basic regulator and a hookah system is the 30-foot hose.
So I could just connect to that.
You could do any regulator with it and it would work.
How do you connect it to the hose versus the tank?
Yes. is the same as that.
Okay.
Well, there you are.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course, yeah. Have a good rest of your day.
You too. All right, I hope we got everything we need. All right, Ed.
You got a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, you bought another regulator.
Yeah.
It will work on hookah?
That's what he said.
I didn't know that.
And then I got a pair of goggles, so we should be good to go. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? Okay.
Let's start it up and try it, huh?
All right, Ed. What do you think? We ready to try this out?
Well, whatever you want.
So, you got a gas-powered engine powering an air compressor running to a safety tank. So if the air compressor dies, you have like 4 breaths of air to get to the surface. And it works. We shut it off and there is like a couple breaths of air in there if nothing's leaking, which you haven't tested to see if it's leaking. I don't have Ed's old mask, but they hooked me up with this.
Okay.
A modern one. And like,
Have you done any scuba diving or
No.
snorkeling?
yes, snorkeling.
Okay, you're gonna be fine.
This is where it gets sketchy, okay? This can only handle a certain amount of pressure.
Right.
If you have bubbles constantly moving out of here, you have too much pressure. That's what that pressure relief valve is supposed to be for, but that thing's like 1980s. If
This?
that builds too much pressure, it's supposed to relieve out of there. The guy says I'll have issues, but I'll make it, right? Because
Okay,
I'll still be
so you're
getting
not gonna
air.
die.
I'm not
Right.
gonna die from that. I'm worried about it cutting out, and I'm also worried about what part we're going to at the lake, because if we go to like the muddy spot and I get stuck in the mud and then this cuts out.
Here, let me do a reenactment of Ed. This is Ed on the beach. So he's there, and all of a sudden the engine cuts out, and he's like, Jefe? I don't know. And then he'll
Yes.
just leave.
Hey, he has a 100-foot rope to drag me back in. All right, we're all loaded up and ready to head to the lake. Hopefully, to be successful. So Ed, how do you think we'll do? Think you'll be all right?
Oh, yeah.
When you're doing this and you're looking for gold, do you pump it up onto the surface?
Well, your dredge has a big pump, and that pump goes to a ventura that goes up a jet tube, and that creates your suction, and you got 20, 30 foot of hose, and all the material goes up to the hose into sluice box.
And does it separate the gold right there then?
Yeah.
How much gold have you found underwater?
How much?
Yeah.
Well, the largest nugget was 1.25 ounces.
Oh, wow.
My buddy and I was running an 8-inch. We got 3 ounces a day for 3 months. That's over $600,000 at today's prices.
Wow. If this works, where should we go to find gold?
Best place?
Yeah.
Canada and Alaska and Australia.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good. Which way are we going?
That's all rocky up there. I guess we better go to the right.
You want to try right here?
Might as well, we're here.
Okay, this is the place. Well, it's a little bit more windy than we would like, but we're still gonna try this out. I think the deep end is out that direction. I'm gonna have to walk all the way out there. It sucks because the wind is blowing this way, so it's gonna try and keep blowing me back to shore. All we can do is try it out. Hopefully it's not too cold of water. So I haven't told you guys, I don't like water. When I was like 10 years old, I drowned, and it was a terrifying experience. Hopefully I do better this time. Face your fears. All right, so I'm gonna try just pulling this out there with no weight belt, no rope, nothing. Just make sure everything works and that's all sealed off. Wish me luck.
crazy. Oh, you gotta like teach your body to not breathe through its nose and just focus on breathing through your mouth. It's working great though. This mask is definitely helping. It's keeping me from breathing through my nose. There's a slight issue though. After that vent valve goes off in the air compressor, it takes too long to build back up air pressure, so you run out of air. So I'm glad I haven't gone in too far yet. We need a different air compressor for sure. Let's go check back in with Ed, see if we're doing this right.
Without a weight belt on, you have to hang on the hose.
Yeah.
Like the mask seal.
The mask sealed fine. The air compressor, I don't think is building up enough air.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I want to put the weight belt on and then go walk around with it on. It's a lot of fun. All right, time to head back out.
I can definitely tell a difference from not wearing this weight belt and wearing it now. We're gonna see if we can walk in under the water. The air compressor's working just enough to supply me a decent amount of air. Not enough to be ideal though, so I don't want to do this for too long. Oh wow, yeah, this weight belt's really holding me down. Definitely not enough air. Yeah, that's fun though. That is awesome. I'm gonna have to do this again.
You didn't have enough weight, did you?
I needed a little bit more, but it was still good. It's just that air compressor's not doing it. Oh,
Well,
the valve got stuck open. That's why I couldn't get enough air. That worked way better than I thought it was. A couple slight modifications and we're good to go.
try it. Quail Creek, maybe.
Yeah, I'm willing to try that. If we can't find gold, we could find a bunch of fishing lures.
Well, I'm glad you're happy, man.
I want to do it again. Should we load up and head back?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, Ed, I'm glad that worked. I think I want to try and find one of those battery-powered ones, though. That'd be awesome. All right, back to the shop we go. Well, I survived.
Yeah, how was that?
It was sketchy. It's worked better than I thought it was going to. But
What's the air like? Is it like breathing air through a hose?
yeah, I think I got a couple cobwebs down in my throat. The pressure relief valve stuck open. It's like, this is getting really hard to breathe. And it stuck open. It would still get me air, but just not enough. I think with a few modifications, it would be actually pretty cool. So it's funny because it's like, well, they make this one that's battery powered. I'm like, it's meant for this, but
I like Ed's sketchy old stuff. I think Jefe should use his sketchy stuff.
I did, and it worked.
How long did you stay under?
Probably like, I think 8 minutes.
Okay.
So got a couple tennis balls off the bottom of the lake.
How cold's the water?
It's chilly still. Between gasping for air because it's cold and gasping for air because there is none, it was an adventure. So
Awesome.
So
That's funny. That's pretty cool. I'd do that.
well, next time we go, you'll have to join us.
I'll bring my Scuba.
We'll be better prepared because it'll all be ready to go. All right. Well, we'll get that working a little bit better, and then we'll go to Quail Creek.
Yeah. Hope you had fun.
Oh, I did. Thank you so much, Ed.
Well.
And thank you guys for watching.